All right, you want to lose 30 pounds in 90 days? Yeah, I bet. Who doesn't? You want to do it and you want it to be extremely easy, of course. I can do this, I can make this happen, I can even show you, but the reality is, you know you, and I have a feeling I know you too. But anyway, welcome to Walk Talk Vent. Let's do this.
Hi guys, welcome back to Walk Talk Vent. My name's Jesse. I'll be your host today, and today we're going to meet a YouTuber called Call Me Allie. Well, she's probably named Allie, but her channel is called Call Me Allie. I saw this video last night, and I thought I'd share it with you guys. It's really, really cool because some of the things she talks about are the things that I try to put into your brain all the time about eating oatmeal and other things like that. And also that things take time and that sometimes the best, quickest plan is the slowest plan, or at least it would come across that way. But anyway, I'm gonna pause my voice and we're gonna listen to Allie here.
Over time, you're going to see these results that you're not going to see like on a day-to-day basis. But if you have a photo from the beginning and you go 6 months down the line and take another photo, you're going to see the change. I can tell you one thing. I have lost substantial amounts of fat in my body. I can see it in my pictures. I can see it in the mirror. I can see it on my face. I know that it's still a little chubby, but guess what? It used to be worse. So I can see the changes in my body. I can see the changes in my life, and my weight has changed very, very little. In fact, I started around 250 and went down at my lowest to 235. And now I'm back up to around 240 to 245 on average. That's not much change. That's 5 pounds from my original starting weight. And yet my body looks substantially different. So for whatever reason, my body works better with a reconstruction type of mode. I don't remember the word, but basically you're gaining muscle as you're losing fat. And that's what my body naturally does. This makes sense to me because I've always been a fairly muscular child. My whole family tends to be fairly beefy, and I don't mean fat beefy, although that too, but beefy as in lots of muscle. We are natural born sprinters. We're good at lifting heavy weights. So my family is predisposed genetically to have more muscle mass. And through the dieting over the years, I've actually decreased my muscle mass substantially. So it makes sense that I'm probably gaining muscle very quickly at this point and kind of evening out my weight loss.
Yeah, so I brought that up the other day that we have muscle memory from way back when we were kids playing sports, way back in high school and college when we were lifting weights and going to the gym, right? There's some muscle memory there. So when we go on our walks, we could very well be building some muscle in our legs. And as we reduce the sugar, you're going to start seeing muscles, and that might motivate you to grab some dumbbells and do some lifts or to maybe even do some calisthenics. She looks to me not like a sprinter. I was thinking like shot put. She does look very, very strong, and I wouldn't be surprised if she does come from a family of really strong people.
All things considered, this is actually a good thing, and that's important to keep in mind because by keeping your weight up, you keep your calories up, meaning it's easier to lose weight and you can eat more and still lose weight. So if you're going to choose between weighing less on the scale and just looking better and healthier, I would choose the latter every single time because I would rather look healthier and be burning more calories than to see the scale go down just because I'm losing weight and muscle at the same time. So realistic expectations for somebody looking to lose weight should be around 1 pound of fat every week. That's generally what I would recommend. Now, you may be surprised because 1 pound of fat is a 500 calorie deficit every day. That's 3,500 calories. If you ate...
Now, the way she says that sounds kind of disappointing, doesn't it? 500 calorie restriction equals 1 pound. But if you think about that, if we take away your 3 Cokes that you've been averaging a day for the last 10 years, each Coke is about 150 calories. 3 times 150, it's about 450 calories. If we throw in 2 half-hour walks, there's another 300 calories. So all of a sudden, we're not building from zero. That's the problem with weight gain and fitness places, right? They always say, hey, start at zero. Your base is 3,000 calories and we'll take it from there. No, your base is where you are right now. You're drinking too many sodas. You're not listening to me. So if we get rid of the sodas and walk, we're ahead of the game, right? And then on top of that, if we can kind of eat oatmeal and different things for breakfast, and then every now and then ditch an oatmeal or ditch a breakfast, we're in good shape. Let's hear what else she has to say. I like what she's saying.
Because it's going to add what's called bulk to your stool, meaning that it'll help you with your bowel movements as time goes on, and it's going to take a while for all that stuff to work through your system. But as far as other types of fiber, you've got the soluble fiber, which can be absorbed and broken down in the body. And that is going to work in different ways. So that's going to deal more with filling your stomach because of the viscosity or feeding your gut bacteria. So you really need to know which types of fiber are most important and how they work. And I'd say doing a little bit of research into that is going to be immensely helpful. But all things considered, eating things like whole grain breads or whole grain foods is one of the best foods that you can eat. Oatmeal, for example, you probably already know that it has a viscous nature to it because when you add water and cook it, it becomes kind of gummy and sticky and viscous. So some good fibers to use are things like psyllium husk or oat fiber, in oatmeal. There's a particular type of fiber in whole grains that's also particular. I think it's like beta something. I don't know. I'd have to look it up again. But fiber, very helpful. There's a lot to know about fiber that you probably don't know, and we don't have time to get into right now. But that's going to be step 1. Step 2 of getting a healthier diet that's going to help you lose weight is adding more protein into your diet. Now, I know that this isn't necessarily a sexy idea.
Like, protein shakes really make your breath stink.
Because
Who let Amari here? Amari, come on. The stage is Allie's right now. We don't need to hear about your hatred of protein.
particularly fun. And the recommendation right now is to get about 1 gram of fiber per pound of weight in your body, or 1 gram of protein per pound of weight in your body, which is a lot. For me, since, we've already talked about it, the 240 mark is probably about where I need to be. And that is very, very hard for me to hit, especially given the cost of protein and the sheer volume of protein that I need to be consuming. So
you'll have bad breath, dry mouth. You will either have a super high sex drive or a super low one.
Adding in protein powders has been immensely helpful in reaching that goal, but I have decided to go for maybe a lower level of protein, maybe 0.8 grams per pound of body weight, because that's much easier for me to hit, and I can do that without as much difficulty. But protein is very, very important to your body because it's literally what builds up every tissue in your system. It's going to keep your body functioning properly. It's going to protect the muscle mass that you already have, and it's going to improve your ability to heal from illnesses or disease or injury.
So once again, this channel is called Call Me Allie. She really does some really neat videos, not only on weight loss, right? But other things as well. Like, she really does strike me as somebody that kind of wants to be a news anchor, right? Like, that's just how I really think of her when I go to her channel. So I urge you guys, check out Call Me Allie's channel. And if you would, subscribe to her channel and give her videos a nice thumbs up. I want you to grab your shoes. Let's go for a walk.
Yeah, let's go for a walk. We've got 4 rules around here. Number 1, we walk every day. Number 2, we drink water every day. Number 3, we avoid sugar every day. Rule 4 states that if you break one of the first 3 rules that I already mentioned, then you simply obey the other 2. I call it the 2/3 rule. This diet and exercise plan is a little different than your dad's diet and exercise plan. Enjoy. Hey, I'd like to say hello to 3 people that tend to watch every video, and they tend to chime in quite a bit. And I consider you guys an integral part of the club, so to speak, of the channel. So I'd like to say hi to the Terrify, or as she likes to be called, Terry from Utah, right?
I'd also like to say hello to Sherry Ann and Sheila. And I forget if it's Sheila or Sherry Ann, but one of you guys asked me what I thought of a weighted vest that you had purchased from Target. And I just want to let you know that I have one in my house as well. If you wear it while you're walking, it'll probably help you build up a sweat. I don't know if it'll necessarily help with weight loss, but it'll probably help you with a little strength conditioning, which means that it might help you in the future walk a little bit further, because I know you like taking a lot of steps, or at least you're trying to. Some people are jumping on their trampoline. That sounds like fun. I used to have one of those too with the kids, a giant big one in the backyard. I would recommend seeing if you can add something to that, right? Keep that going. But the reason I, excuse me, the reason I mentioned the weighted vest is if you're trying to do push-ups and sit-ups, anyone out there, a great way to make that push-up and sit-ups, or excuse me, not sit-ups, but the way to make the push-ups feel a little bit more advanced and challenging is try to do a push-up with that 8-pound weighted vest on. Holy moly! Oh my goodness. That'll show you how to get a little extra oomph out of your push-ups. You know what I mean? I want to let everyone know that even though you might see this afterwards, I hope you and your families had a happy Good Friday, and I hope you guys are having a beautiful Easter weekend. This weekend kind of goes over a lot of things that I discuss with our plan here. There's going to be a piece of you guys that want to drink water and want to go through this weekend as if it's some part of a routine. No. Easter is where we have hard-boiled eggs with the kids. Easter is where we buy our grandkids that chocolate bunny. And don't buy them the hollow one. Buy them the good. Buy them the hollow one. It's probably better. But I want you to have a little chocolate with them. I want you to have some hot cocoa if your grandkids and kids spent the night from out of state, you know? I want you to not be afraid if it's pancakes and bacon, you know, for the Sunday morning feast, and a nice big honey-baked ham, right? Those are traditions in this country. Those are traditions as Christians. You don't have to be a Christian to enjoy this channel. But I love my Lord and Savior, and if you guys do too, you know, we are very thankful for this time of year, right? And if you don't believe in the Lord, you know, it doesn't mean that you're not a good person. You're probably a very good person, you know? And if your faith is something super important to you, and you're Muslim, or you're Jewish, or you're Buddhist, or like I said, maybe your thoughts and beliefs are on pure scientific research and stuff, I still wish you all a beautiful, beautiful weekend with your family. You can be completely atheist and still enjoy Easter. I have quite a few friends that are atheists that still enjoy Christmas, right? And hey, Jeff, good to see you. All right, Jeff's alive. That's a good thing. Anyway, back to what I was saying. I don't think you have to be religious to enjoy Christmas. You definitely don't have to be religious to enjoy Thanksgiving, right? There are these special times throughout the year where you're going to be with family and friends. I want you to be able to enjoy the soda. I want you to be able to enjoy the cake. And if you think about it, especially as you get older in life, we have so many children and so many cousins and so many this, that, and the other that you can set it up in your schedule where you have a special occasion every other week. So even if you decided, hey, I'm only going to drink a Coke and have a beer and enjoy a piece of cake or a donut during these special occasions, you'll probably be just fine, you know? If If you fear holidays like Thanksgiving and Christmas because the average American gains a couple of pounds during those holidays, well, why don't we be proactive about it? Why don't we say the week of Thanksgiving and Christmas, instead of walking for half an hour, we're going to walk twice for half an hour at a time, right? And remember, guys, don't do what I do sometimes. Don't wear your Vans on a long walk. Vans are perfect for a good 20 or 30-minute walk, but they're not so perfect when you start to do 10,000 steps. God, 10,000 steps sounds like 3 or 4 miles. If anybody knows exactly what 10,000 steps equates to, mark it down. When I tell you guys I'm not a big fan of steps, I'm talking about the steps that people do at work, because I've seen some silly things through the years where, like I said, people try to go to the bathroom twice an hour to increase their steps. I'm sure we can agree that's a little kooky, right? The number one thing that I want you guys to focus on is that you try to get outside, right? Because the sun gives us vitamin D. When you're outside, you can kind of see what your neighborhood's about. When your eyes are outside, you make your neighborhood that much safer, right? If you see somebody messing around with your neighbor's house, maybe you go drop a little 3x5 card in your neighbor's mailbox saying, hey, just want to let you know, I saw some people looking at your car and looking through the windows of your car, so beware, Sometimes in life you have a little guardian angel. Be somebody's guardian angel. Look out for your neighbors, and be that little beacon of light that they need in the world, and live your faith. If your faith is about doing unto others as you'd have them do unto you, well, prove it, But Sherry Ann, Terry, and Sheila, I just want to let you guys know your daily comments really help keep me going. Sometimes in the morning when I wake up, I think, hey, I'm going to take my walk, because believe me, I do. But it's easy for me to say, you know what? I'm going to take the camera in the afternoon walk. But now, because you guys are so motivating for me, a lot of times I'm able to just grab the camera in the morning now. So it's already nice and toasty in the morning, which is not a very good sign. I have somebody in Houston that told me that they're already trying to make plans for the summer, because apparently in Houston, the summers can be pretty miserable. Well, my friend from Houston, I say good for you. Find something. If that's inside a gym, and even if you end up going in the gym and going hardcore and never needing your boy Walk Talk Vent anymore, right? Good for you. Keep it going. There's nothing wrong with going beyond what we do here. What I want to let you know, though, is as we get older, we are sometimes much more susceptible to injury. If you ever do get injured and you need to walk back before you start running or crawling even, if you need to crawl before you even start walking and running even, think about joining us again. And I say that to everybody. There's going to be a time where you think to yourself, I don't need to watch a video, I don't need to go on a walk, and you're going to potentially walk away and quit. What I'm trying to let you know is that the door will always be open for you to return. And we will all always be here. And even if 90 days goes by and you don't end up losing the full 30 pounds or something, do not become discouraged. What this diet and exercise plan sets up is a situation where your body slowly but surely loses its hunger pangs, where your body slowly but surely loses its cravings for sugar. And when that happens, you'll find yourself not being hungry. And again, if you're like a clock where every day at 7 you have a breakfast, and every day at noon you have a lunch, and every evening at 5 you have your dinner, go with that. But if lunchtime rolls around and you're just not hungry, that's your body's way of saying, we can ditch lunch today, okay? In the past, many of us would eat Not because we're hungry, but because our tongue is craving a food. Guys, if you could mark down in the comments, how many times have you absolutely known you weren't hungry, but you decided to have that glazed donut anyway? How many times have there been 4 or 5 Oreos left in the Oreo cookie tray, right? And you decided, I don't want to let that go to waste. I'm going to finish off these cookies. That is a mental defect that our parents and grandparents put in our brain. It was called clean your plate or else. Clean your plate or else you're not going to play Nintendo or Atari. You're going to go to bed, right? What that forced in you was something that you've been telling people ever since. Good boy, you cleaned your plate. Good girl, you cleaned your plate. We don't need kids cleaning their plates anymore. Kids are fatter than ever. And if it concerns you that our young people are having heart attacks in their 20s or 30s, mention it. And that part of it is because we're very unhealthy in this country, okay? And yes, I know that there's other reasons why young people might be falling, but that's not really here nor there. I'm talking about the ones that are specifically having troubles with their health that are self-imposed. If you're eating fast food as a teenager 6 or 7 days a week, just know that people in their 40s and 50s, we did not have that much access to fast food. Fast food for us, literally when we were growing up, was once or twice a week. And the rest of it was eating from home. And if you, as a young person, are watching this, because I know I have somebody that said they were 32, even though I don't necessarily look at you the same way as I would an 18 or 20-year-old, I still see you as growing up at a time where fast food was everywhere, right? And fast food was very popular because you were just a teenager in like the 2010s, right? So what I would tell you is that we did your generation a very great disservice by constantly being willing to buy you Happy Meals, followed by chicken nuggets, followed by Whoppers, and you know, Big Macs. Those are things that should be a special treat that you eat once in a blue moon. And sometimes we work in an area where the only store that we have access to at lunch is McDonald's or Burger King or Wendy's. If that's your situation, so be it. But I know for a fact that places like McDonald's have bottled water. So whenever you're drinking your soda, you could, in theory, make your meal healthier just by having the bottled water. That would be a baby step. The next baby step would be maybe ditching the French fry, right? Maybe ditching the top bun on your burger, not because we do the Atkins diet here, but because if you don't need the extra bun on top, bust out a fork and eat your burger that way. You've made it that much healthier, that much less caloric. The next baby step from that would be getting your carrots and your snap peas in a little Ziploc baggie, buying a little Tupperware set at the store, and taking a sandwich every day, right? And I know that when you're young, and by the way, for people in their 40s and 50s, they won't understand this, but for people age 30 and younger, it comes across as odd when you're in the grocery store buying Ziploc baggies and Tupperware. But that's just a big boy and big girl thing that we grew up with. If you have a mom that's in her 50s, her mom threw Tupperware parties when she was a girl. So we all grew up with this magical product called Tupperware. Well, that magical product that we all grew up with could save your life, right? Not by putting it over your head and trying to hold your breath, right? But by it could save your life by you becoming healthier by taking your lunch to work. Guys, if you're not taking your lunch to work and you are eating the McDonald's, yes, you can skip the drink. Yes, you can skip the fries. Yes, you can make it as healthy as you can. But what is honestly stopping you from waking up 10 minutes early and making yourself a sandwich, right? There is nothing wrong with saving money. Did you know the average McDonald's meal costs like 13 or 14 bucks now? Wouldn't it be safer financially and for your mental health when it comes to finances
to start taking your lunch, you know? And I'm telling you guys, a lot of the snack foods that we love, the bag of Doritos, what is that, like $4 or $5 now? Whereas a couple years back, it was $2.99. All these little bumps are the reason that a lot of us are broke, you know? But you can get over that by making stuff yourself. And I think that's something that a lot of us in our age group already do. So I don't want to harp on it too much. I think a lot of us do. But for the younger folks, if you really want to be studly, go buy yourself some Tupperware and see if you can start taking your lunch with you to work. Now, when you take stuff to work, you're inevitably going to have a situation where somebody steals your food out of the refrigerator at work. That's happened to me. It's happened to a lot of us. But again, that's not something you can do that makes you want to stop. If that happens, then let's work around that. How do we work around that, Jesse? There's no way to work around that. Well, actually there is. When you're in the freezer section, get a couple of those things that you can throw in the freezer. They basically form ice packs. You put that in your lunchbox. That'll keep your lunch cold until you eat it at lunch. You can keep it at your desk. Problem solved. Thank you, Jesse. Thank you. You solve all of our problems. I know. That's what I'm here for. To help you guys eat out of your Tupperware without your food being molested by the coworkers. And by the way, if you are a coworker, and if you're one of my past coworkers that used to steal my drink out of the fridge and take a sip out of it, God, that's gross. But I still drank it. If you have a few coworkers, you probably know who's stealing food. And if you are one of those coworkers, stop it! It's wrong. It's wrong. You guys know it's irritating and wrong. You should never steal your coworkers' food. And if you're guilty of it, I want you to be honest, and I want you to put in the comments, yes, I stole somebody's orange drink once. Yes, I stole somebody's Sunny Delight. Yes. Jesse, it was me. I stole your orange High C from the fridge. By the way, in case you're wondering, when I get a quarter-pounder meal from McDonald's, I love the High C orange with vanilla. Has anyone here ever had the High C orange where it has a little burst of vanilla, like from like Jack in the Box or Wendy's? I love that. They also have a purple grape flavored High C. Oh my God, that is so good. Has anyone here ever taken fruit punch and thrown a little bit of Sprite in it? You ever done that? So it's kind of like a sparkling fruit punch. That is real delicious too. But every time you drink that stuff, not only is it bad for your waistline, but it's not really good for your teeth. And when you're in your 40s and 50s, that's when a lot of us start to have tooth and teeth issues, right? And so that's when it's really important to cut out the sugar. And I would really love to hear, oh, sorry if I clogged my microphone there. I would really like to hear if anyone's noticing that, yes, Jesse, I haven't had sugary products for the last 3 or 4 days. And when I wake up in the morning, my morning breath doesn't seem that bad. And I know some people are thinking, can you smell your own morning breath? Maybe not, but you can feel with your tongue if your teeth feel kind of furry and coated with that coating you can get in the morning. And honestly, guys, when you drink water and you cut out the sugar, your teeth aren't so furry in the morning. So if anyone's experiencing that, please put it in the comments, because otherwise it just sounds like that weird guy that walks and talks about his furry teeth. And I don't know if that translates well, you know? So yes, if you guys are starting to notice that, hey, I haven't had any processed sugar for 3 or 4 days, and I tried your little banana in the blender trick, and it actually did taste like a real banana shake, right? I'm telling you, if you try that right now and you're still on sugar, you'll think that's the dullest, most boring shake or smoothie you've ever had in your life, right? But if you go 3, 4, 5, 6 days without sugar, and then you have that same banana smoothie, you are going to be amazed, because you're going to be like, Jesse,
In the past, whenever I had a smoothie or a milkshake, it would bring me down, health-wise, and it would make me feel like I wanted to take a nap. Your banana shake is the exact opposite. It makes me feel like I want to put my shoes on and go for a walk. And that's the magic of the banana smoothie. And again, if you're tired of seeing a yellow smoothie go in your yap, throw a couple strawberries in it as well, so you have a strawberry banana smoothie. It always looks sweeter than it tastes, and if you have the grandkids taste it, I don't think they're going to like it much, but if you want it to be something that the grandkids do with you, give them a little teaspoon or maybe a tablespoon of sugar in theirs, and they will absolutely love it. As a matter of fact, every time you make your smoothie virgin without the sugar, they're going to say, Grandma, Grandpa, can I have one too? And then you're going to say, Joey, no! These are Grandma's bananas! Go get the belt! That's how our parents were, right? It was like, Mommy, I love you. Go get the belt. But Mommy, whap! Just kidding. Just kidding. My mom had like a Hoynia dance, like, get me the belt. It was crazy. There was borderline child abuse when we were growing up in the 70s and 80s, but it was still better. It was still better. And we had bullies back then. The bully kept us in line. I want you guys to see me as your bully now. Do what I say and drop the sugar. Drop the sugar. Hey, if I'm bringing up any bad memories for people that have been bullied, I apologize. I'm really good friends with my buddy Trent, and he was the bully when we were younger. But as an adult, he'll tell you, one day I came up to kids and adults that were bigger, stronger, and tougher than me, and it taught me a lesson. So I want you guys to remember, whenever you're dealing with a bully, forgive them. If it's been 20 or 30 years, forgive them. Trust me. They've ran into their own bullies. They've learned in many cases, right? People when they're adults are not the same little poop heads that they were when they were teenagers and kids. And when I was in school, kids were very cruel and mean. But I would never hold that against them now. So if you ever were to look at my Facebook page, I have close to 300 friends. And I'm so proud of my Facebook page because I actually know my Facebook friends, like in person, And some of those people are friends now, but they're people that I wouldn't necessarily have seen as friends back in the day, But if they're excellent adults and they're leading their families and they're decent people, am I really going to be a jerk and hold what they did back when they were 14, 15, 12 against them? Sometimes. Depends on what they did, right? Again, if you were bullied and stuff, there's bullying, Joey's a nerd, and then there's bullying, like literally getting beaten up and stuff. So I'm not trying to validate that. I guess where I went to school when I was little, even the bullies were kind of nice, Most kids genuinely are good. What we have to do is not let them get poisoned by us adults, So again, do you want to be that grandparent that comes across as stern, tough love? Or do you want to be that grandparent that when you do pass on, your grandkids love you so much that they can't wait till they're grandparents so that they can teach the same lessons that you taught them? That's what my grandmother Carmen instilled in me. I want to be the absolute best grandfather that I can be because of my grandma. And because of my faith, which brings me a little bit back to the Easter theme, because of my faith, I'm hoping that one day I can see my grandma again and all my friends and family that have passed. I am one of these guys that when I was in my late teens and early 20s, I hardly knew any family members or friends that had passed away. I had a couple great grandparents that, had left us, right? But predominantly speaking, my aunts and uncles and everybody was still alive. Fast forward till now, guys, I have more friends and family that have passed, and many of you are in the same boat.
you know? So where we used to have aunts, uncles, and grandparents and stuff above us in the family tree, you know, those branches have been cut off, so to speak, right? And now you have your kids and your grandkids and your nieces and nephews. And what I urge you to do this Easter holiday weekend is not to pick up your shoes and go for a walk. I urge you with all my heart and soul, pick up the phone and get back in connection with your family. When I was going through my surgery and recovering in November, I decided to pick up the phone and reach out on Facebook to my dad's family, because my dad was never in my life, ever. And I decided, because I was really down and depressed because of how long my surgery was taking me to recover, I decided to reach out to my cousins on my dad's side, my aunts on my dad's side, and ultimately to reach out to my dad. Because my thinking was, to heck with the first 47 years of my life, let's get a relationship now, Dad. And my cousin Jackie gave me a phone call a couple days later after he thankfully accepted my friend request on Facebook, and he said, "Cousin," he goes, "I don't know how to tell you this, but your dad passed away 5 years ago." I don't know why my dad never wanted to be a part of my life. But I also don't know why, when we have something like Facebook, why I didn't try being in my family's life. I was always a part of my mom's family's life. And with my mom's side of the family, a lot of our relatives were just really advanced in age. So what I've had a chance to see the last handful of years is just relative after relative after relative pass away. And it can be very eye-opening, because sometimes when we're young, we want to live forever, but sometimes you get to a point like me where it's like, well, what do you do when a great deal of your friends and family have died? Do you really want to be the only one left on this planet forever? You know, do you really want to live to be 100 if it means seeing everybody pass away? So again, I literally lost my dad 5 years ago, and I just found out about it a couple months ago, you know? And so if you have a son or a daughter, and I'll even say this to my son, Kobe, I love you so much, and I don't know why you don't want to be in my life. But my dad wasn't in my life, and I didn't realize what I was missing until a couple months ago when I wanted to be in his. Now, just in case you're wondering, I don't think my son hates me, and I definitely don't hate my son. I love him like crazy, and I'm pretty sure my son loves me. He's just in his 20s, and he just has no interest in talking to me. And this happens with a lot of families, right? People they get in their 20s and they do their own thing, and sometimes mom and dad aren't necessarily in the picture. And if you are 32, like one of my viewers is, and you've been ignoring your parents, don't. Your parents could drop dead tomorrow. Not that I want them to, not that they are. Hopefully they won't. Hopefully they're healthy. But open the door. Be in your family's life. Leave the front door unlocked, metaphorically, not in real life, right? Be a part of your family. I want you guys to be a part of my extended family, so to speak. But again, this might be the perfect day to pick up the phone and say, you know what? It was really nice seeing you Easter weekend, Becky. I want you and the kids to be in mine and your father's life. I always play the role of grandma. Isn't that? I always play the role of grandma. But I know there's grandpas listening to this too. Don't give up on your family. Don't give up on your parents. If you're in your 50s or 60s and your dad's 80 and crotchety, give him a call. Tell him you love him. All right?
Tell him you're sorry that you stole his car when you were 16. Tell it, you know, I stole my mom's car when I was 16. It was very funny. I took it to my girlfriend's house. It was spring break, right? I thought my mom was asleep, and I literally pushed the truck down the street, started it, and left. About 2 a.m, I'm in my girlfriend's room, and we're just kind of hiding because her parents are there, and they don't know I'm there, you know? And all of a sudden, the phone rings, 2 a.m, at their house. And I hear her mom pick it up, and we're like trying to be quiet. And all of a sudden, she hangs up the phone, and she's like, Angie, is Jesse here? His mom just called and said he stole the car. So I immediately climb out the window and go to my vehicle and drive home, right? The whole time I'm just freaked out because I already know my mom knows, right? And I come home, all the lights are off. So I'm thinking, okay, everyone's asleep. And I go down to my room, lights are off. I turn on the light. There's my mom in bed just staring. I'm like, oh my God, you know, creepiest thing ever. So anyway, I got in trouble for that. But for some reason, my mom was cool and understanding about that. So sometimes even parents are cool like that. But again, you know, if you're really, really young, I don't recommend stealing your mom's truck. Not by any means. But there's a lot of people in our age group that have stories like that, you know? No matter what you do to irritate your kids or what you do to irritate your parents, don't give up on them.